I'm Steve from Las Vegas, and these are my adventures. Today I want to do something a little different. I'm trying out some new screen recording software, and I wanted to do a really quick news analysis on a subject that's been in the media a lot recently. Dead bodies found at Lake Mead. Go ahead and grab your favorite beverage and let's sit down and have a chat about it. Now, you may know that Las Vegas has a strong mob history, and Lake Mead is a large body of water close by, so it was the perfect place for criminals to dispose of the remains of their victims. But anyone who knows forensics knows that bodies still tell a story even years later, so medical examiners are still trying to identify the remains and cause of death. I came across this article the other day and it's got some great information, so I wanted to go over it with you since I have some future expeditions planned to the Lake Mead area. So in this article, there's a great video. Let's go ahead and just take a minute and watch it. It's only a couple of minutes long.
Say that as the lake recedes, we may actually find more bodies.
Yes, from gruesome, dark evidence to the possibility of lost treasures, the lake is giving up its hidden secrets one by one. Reporter Bree Guy joining us live from Lake Mead with that story. Bree.
Yeah, Dave, and while the drought and the lowering water levels here at Lake Mead are serious business, so are the surprising discoveries found in the lake as those levels continue to drop. From what was once deep water, secrets are being uncovered. As Lake Mead's water levels continue to recede at an alarming rate, what will be revealed?
It's quite I suppose it's quite scary really how low they are. But I mean, I don't know whether us discovering anything would be scary for us. But yeah, I mean, it's quite amazing, really, what can be discovered, I suppose, and how long it's been here and why.
The Lake Mead Recreation Area says there have been discoveries for years as the lake waters drop, like the lost town of St. Thomas, originally a Mormon settlement, resurfacing. Once the dam was operational in the 1930s, St. Thomas was covered by 60 feet of water, but the watery ghost town is fully re-emerged now.
Nearly 90-year history of this lake. There have been a number of airplane crashes that have taken place. This area was habitated for thousands of years by Native American peoples that called this home. So we expect fully that as lake levels drop, there will be artifacts that are in some cases hundreds or thousands of years old.
Las Vegas local Chip, a retired casino dealer for 35 years, recalls coming to the lake in the 1980s. He says where we were standing for our interview was an area well underwater back then.
We used to get off of work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we would go home, get somebody's boat and bring it out here to the lake, and we'd be out here by 5 or 5:30 and the water was really calm. And now we just went up to Colville Bay and the marina is closed. You can't launch your boat from there anymore.
Some visitors describe that eerie feeling of the unknown coming to light.
Sort of weird where you don't know what is there, and obviously as the water level is dropping, things are being discovered.
Lake Mead Recreation Area representatives urge visitors, if they do encounter anything that they find in the lake, don't touch it or disturb it. Simply take a picture, because if you do disturb it, then that can destroy the historical evidence or the ecosystem in that area. Bree Guy reporting at Lake Mead.
So that was a quick video here, and it's really a good point. If you see bodies or something like that, don't disturb it, just leave it where it is, because a lot of times investigators can find evidence even if the body's been out there for many, many years. One of the places they found the bodies is Colville Bay. Remains found at Colville Bay in Lake Mead, identified as a 42-year-old, Clark County official says. So see, they found out who it was. It was Thomas Ernst of Las Vegas. He was 42 at the time of his reported drowning in August 2nd, 2002, which is about 20 years ago. So he's been in the lake for 20 years, and his body was just found. The desert, the lake out here is very unforgiving. They will swallow up your body and keep it there indefinitely until somebody finds it. And years later, evidence can be found. So it just goes to show you that even though Mr. Ernst was 42 and he disappeared 20 years ago, his body was still found in Lake Mead, which leads us to believe that, look, if Kenny Veach is still out in the mountains somewhere, his body may be found. desert is good at preserving things like that. So, as you know, Clark County Office of the Coroner Medical Examiner has ongoing investigations into other human remains found recently in Lake Mead. August 16, partial skeletal remains. August 6, visitors to Boulder Beach discovered partial skeletal remains, and May 1st, remains were discovered in the barrel at Hemingway Harbor. So there's three areas right there. Now, this one right here was found in Calville Bay and Lake Mead. So let's go ahead and take a quick look and see where Calville Bay is. Where in America is Calville Bay? You can see we're zooming in on Nevada, Las Vegas area. It is the upper part of Lake Mead, and you can actually see the receding water levels here in this Google Earth image where Calville Bay is. So somewhere, I'm assuming on this beach somewhere, is where the body was found, where this individual drowned 20 years ago. So clearly there was a dock 20 years ago. It's probably up here. They went out. This individual, after researching the story, I know he fell off a boat, fell into the water, was never found again, and somewhere out there is where he was. So you could see in relation to Las Vegas, where Calville Bay is, you would have to drive all the way out here just to get to Las Vegas, and that's probably a healthy hour drive. Let's go back to the story. Man who found recent remains at Lake Mead speaks up about a gruesome discovery. So, the man says he found human remains, speaking about it, blah, blah, blah. Many remains found in the past 3 months at Lake Mead. Christopher Orazenko, however you pronounce it, he and his family visited the lake to go for a swim, and they found the bones sticking out of the sand under the shallow water. You're out there swimming with your family, and you see bones sticking out of the sand in the shallow water. He captured photos and video of the bones before reporting them to the National Park Service. And I believe he found this at Swim Beach. Where is Swim Beach? Let's go ahead and head to Google Earth and find out where Swim Beach is. All right, so Swim Beach, it is again in Nevada on the shores of Lake Mead. Let's zoom in and take a look and see where Swim Beach is. So yeah, Swim Beach was underwater at one point in time. You could see where the water levels were. Here's Lakeshore Road, Boulder Beach Campground, and Swim Beach right here. So somewhere around here, I'm assuming, is where that set of human remains were found. Family out here swimming, seeing bones sticking up from the sand. Here's where it is in relation to Las Vegas. It is really not that far. You can see Vegas Airport, and the strip is over here, and there's Swim Beach where those remains were found. Let's go ahead and go back to the story. Right, so identifying the bodies. New details on 3 bodies found at Lake Mead in a CNN interview. Of the 3 said human remains discovered, only one is currently deemed a homicide investigation. That was the remains found in a barrel at Hemingway Harbor. Hemingway Harbor. A body was found in a barrel at Hemingway Harbor, and this body had a bullet hole in it, so they know it was a homicide. Or maybe they're assuming homicide. So let's find out where Hemingway Harbor is. All right, Hemingway Harbor, Nevada. You know it's probably somewhere in Lake Mead, but where in Lake Mead is it? Because everybody kind of has that kind of gruesome curiosity. You want to find out where it is. So there's Hemingway Harbor, and it's interesting to see where the boat docks are and how far they've been moved out. Clearly, the docks were in here at one point in time, but somewhere right around here, Hemingway Harbor, Hemingway Fishing Pier, was that body in a barrel, and you've seen that body before. So it was found somewhere around here. And in proximity to Las Vegas, you could see it is a relatively easy drive to Las Vegas. And if it's a mob murder, clearly they drove, I'm assuming, for the Strip or somewhere in Las Vegas, killed the individual, drove the body out here, and dumped it out of Hemingway Harbor. Let's go back to the story. All right, so anytime you have a body in a barrel, clearly there was somebody else involved, obviously. It'd be pretty hard to float out in a barrel, shoot yourself, and then let the barrel float at the bottom of the lake. So clearly somebody else was involved, and more than likely was the mob. More skeletal remains. FBI is involved to try to find these individuals who may have been responsible. Families hope for answers. So yeah, families want closure on this. A murder mystery more than 1,000 miles away could bring answers to a Tennessee woman hoping to track down her father's killer 30 years ago. So yeah, 30 years ago, note he was killed in Las Vegas. They want to track the killer down. It gives hope to families. Families want closure. Is Lake Mead unsafe? No, it's not unsafe, but the water level is dropping, so you can't really do the same activities you did years ago. As far as people being murdered out there, no, these are more than likely mob victims. They're not a serial killer or something like that. Paddleboarding remains. Yeah, you could do paddleboard out there, take a boat or something. There's a lot of folks out there looking for these skeletal remains. There are rewards for them. Retired police officers who produce the Problem Solver show say they're offering a $5,000 reward to volunteer divers who find any remains. So obviously they'd like to film it, investigate what's going on, and possibly solve the mystery. So yeah, $5,000 is a pretty big incentive to get somebody out there to find these remains. Vegas Justice League has offered the LVMPD support in identifying a decades-old body, lowering levels of Lake Mead. They're dropping at an alarming rate. We fully expect as lake levels to drop, there will be more artifacts hundreds of thousands of years old. Chief of Resource Management and Compliance at Lake Mead National Recreation Area. Homicide investigation. Again, anytime you find a dead body in a barrel with a bullet hole in it, it's probably going to be a murder, and that's what's going on here. Long hidden remains, 30 to 40 years ago, dead bodies in the water. They're being found, evidence is there, police can find out some information, which leads us to believe that, look, if Kenny Veach had somehow disappeared in the sheep range, eventually his body will be found, and eventually some evidence will be found with him, hopefully. But they're gruesome discoveries, no doubt. And that's the breaking news report. So, again, with the dropping water levels of Lake Mead, these mysteries of Las Vegas are being given up. And this is just in the Lake Mead body of water near Las Vegas, and all part of the actual history of Las Vegas. Lake Mead, the desert, the mountains, the surrounding area are full of mysteries, and that's what I'm all about. That's what this YouTube channel is all about. I live in Las Vegas. I have the luxury of going out there whenever I have time and filming some of these mysteries, and that's what I love doing. So Kenny Beach, we're going to do more videos on Kenny Beach. Lake Mead, I do plan to do some Lake Mead videos, but you never know what you may find. So if you like these videos, subscribe, and you'll be notified when I post a new one. If you have ideas for new videos, you want to make a comment, please do. I love your comments, good, bad, whatever. Just keep commenting. And this is as much your channel as mine. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure.